Here with the new light heavyweight champion of the world again. You obviously very disappointed by that last fight. Do you feel that the belt really didn't leave your waist?
You know, anything can happen in a fight, and that last fight is a perfect example of that. You know, there was a bona fide punch, even though it lasted 25 seconds. It counted as a win, and I wasn't the title holder, and so I'm just happy that Vitor was champion enough to step back in there and give me another shot because of the circumstances of the first fight, and I'm, you know, fortunate tonight that things went my way.
We also saw Chuck Liddell win today. That's obviously something that could happen down the road. Tell us what you thought about fighting him again.
Yeah, I think that's probably a logical step. He's put himself back in contention as the #1 contender for the title shot, and you know, I'm going to study what the things that he's been doing in these last couple fights, and you know, I think he's kind of rejuvenated himself and got back to his roots and doing a little more wrestling and gotten back to training hard, and so I think it'll be a very interesting fight the second time around.
Another thing that Dana White mentioned today was that you would be coaching one team and Chuck Liddell will be coaching one team in the reality UFC TV show that will be coming out in September. Do you feel that that is something that will motivate pay-per-view buys?
Yeah, I think that's a great vehicle to promote that pay-per-view by us kind of rivaling each other with the two houses and training these fighters who eventually will compete against each other. You know, Liddell team versus Couture team would be a great way for us to kind of build some hype for that fight.
Another thing Vitor mentioned today was that he felt that the initial cut was caused by a headbutt. What are your thoughts on that?
I didn't feel a headbutt. I thought that an elbow caught him, but you know, a lot of things happen in the heat of things, and if he felt like it was a headbutt, then you know, I really have no response to that. He did an amazing job tonight. He took a lot of punishment, and he was in it to the end. He showed a lot of heart.
You said he showed a lot of heart. Did you ever feel that his heart faltered a little bit down the stretch, or was it something that he continued to fight back throughout the rest of the fight?
I think he felt stuck, but I don't feel like he ever got to a point where he gave up. He was constantly trying to find an armbar. He was punching back. You know, I had him down and was able to keep him where I wanted him, but I felt like he was continuing to struggle the entire time.
He had you in a couple arm bars. Were they very close, or were they something that you knew that you were going to get your way out of?
The first one was actually very tight and was sweaty enough and unfortunately bloody enough to slip out of it. And the second one was good too, but I knew then, you know, what it was he was trying to do and how he was setting it up. So yeah, I mean, the first attempt was a good attempt. I was managed to pull out just enough to pass and counter.
I haven't seen that much blood in a fight in, I don't think ever, maybe Dean Lister versus Jeremy Horn. Do you think the blood played a large factor in the fact of Vitor Belfort losing?
I don't believe I've ever seen that much blood in a fight either. It was a lot of blood. And I don't know if it played a factor. I mean, it may have affected his vision. It certainly didn't affect him technically in his ability to get up or to scramble, and he just wasn't able to do that. I've been working a lot on keeping guys down and being effective there, and I think that training paid off tonight.
You, like you mentioned to Mr. Gross, challenged Vanderlei Silva today. What do you think is a possibility of you stepping over into Pride, or possibly him coming over into the UFC when you guys make that move into Japan? Do you think that's going to happen?
I think we're hopeful that something like that could happen. I mean, that would be a Super Bowl for this sport, but I'm not going to hold my breath. There's a lot of differences between the two organizations that would have to come to terms with, and before we're going to see that happen. So it's something I think would be great for the sport, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Thank you, one of the top fighters in the world and one of the favorite fighters of many of the fans in the U.S. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.